supported by Suryodaya Municipality, Ilam.
The worldwide spread of COVID-19 has recently been entranced in your dream and keeps you all away from the opportunity to get formal education in school. In such devastating crucial situation, to continue your learning process, radio education program organized by Education Department of Suryodaya Municipality and coordinated by Radio Fecal, we are here to carry on today's session. It's me, your facilitator, Suman Pariyar from Krishnashram Secondary School, Kanyam.
And me, Anil from Evelyn International Academy. We are going to present the class of Class 8 Compulsory English today. Therefore, all the students of Class 8, hurry up and get ready with your all belongings.
Yes, Anil sir, I want to request you to make clear what we are presenting in today's session.
Today, of course, Suman sir, today we are going to have discussion about tense, which is the most important topic and one of the basic knowledge students must have.
Oh, so Anil sir, today we are talking about tense, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir,
as you said, tense is one of the most important topic, and it is one of the most important basic knowledge a student must have. You're right. So, without the knowledge of tense, we can't even imagine, we can't even write a single sentence correctly, and sometimes we may get confusions while speaking also. Why is it so? Is we do have the lack of concept of tense. So today we will try our best to give clear concept about tense. So before that, my dear students, we are giving 3 examples for you.
Okay, you are suggested to note down the 3 examples related about tense. First example is, note it down, Purna married an African lady last year. Let me repeat once. Purna married an African lady last year. Give full stop at the end. Next example, Durga drinks a cup of tea every morning. Let me repeat once. Durga drinks a cup of tea every morning. Last example is, Madhav will buy a golden car next month. Let me repeat once. Madhav will buy a golden car next month.
Okay, you have just written 3 different sentences. First one is Purna married an African lady last year. Next one is Durga drinks a cup of tea every morning. And the last one is Madhav will buy a golden car next month. So students, you are given 3 different sentences, and let's make a guess. What may be the tenses of these 3 different sentences? Purna married an African lady last year. What do you think? What may be the tense? Okay, you might have guessed. This one is past tense, right? And next one, Durga drinks a cup of tea every morning. Durga drinks a cup of tea every morning. What do you think the tense of this sentence is? You might be supposing that it may be present tense, and you're right also. And the last one is Madhav will buy a golden car next month. You're thinking of this tense sentence is in future tense, and you are 100% right. But why do you think so? The first one is past, second one is present, and third one is future. What are the words there? What are the things there that determine that these 3 sentences are from 3 different tenses? So Anil sir, can we have a little bit discussion about this? So what may be the students dreaming of, why the first sentence is past, why the second sentence is present, and why the third sentence is future?
Yes, sir. It is clearly mentioned married, married, that is main verb. In a past form, ed form also added over there. And also at the end, last year also mentioned. And on number next, that is next example, Durga drinks. Drinks, that is the main verb. It is also the action verb mentioned clearly over there, adding verb 1 plus s, especially verb 1 and s. Drinks a cup of tea every morning. Next one is will plus verb 1. Madhav will buy a golden car next month. Will plus, if there shall be the shall will, it definitely identify the future tense.
Yes, sir. As Anil sir told you just now, there, let's underline the verbs there. Purna married. Underline that verb. And in the second, drinks. And in the third, will buy. So in the first one is main verb is what? Married.
Married.
And we are given the adverb at the last year. And married is past verb. And last year is past adverbs.
Yes.
Those two things are there to determine that that particular sentence is past tense. And it's like in the second example, the main verb, underline the main verb drinks, and the time adverb every morning. So drinks, that is the present form of the verb, and every morning, that is the present time adverbs. So those two things there in that sentence determines that that is the present sentence. And the last one, underline the verb will buy, and at last the time adverbs next month. So will buy is the future form, and next month is the future time adverbs. These two things are there that determines that that particular sentence is from future tense. So with this discussion of these three different sentences, you might have found what the tense of a particular sentence is. So Anil sir, could you please give the definition of what is the tense?
Students, you are suggested to write down what is the tense actually. Tense is the time stated by the verbs in a particular sentence. Tense is the time stated by the verbs in a particular time. With the help of the tense, we can easily write any sentences in a correct form. Yes, Suman sir.
Okay, as you have been just told, tense is the time stated by the verb in a particular sentence. It means to say that what is the time that determines by the verb given in that sentence, that exactly is the tense. So don't be confused. You can go through the above examples also. Married means that determines past time, so that is a past tense. Drinks, that verb determines the time of present, so that is present tense. And will buy, that verb determines the time of future, so that is future tense. So what you have to know, that what you must have the concept of tense is that tense is the time stated by a verb in a particular sentence. So from this discussion, you have known that broadly in English language there are how many tenses? Yes, you're right. There are three different tenses. They are what? One is past, next is present, and next one is future. So English language, broadly, English language has three different tenses. But in today's session, it is almost impossible to discuss all about those three different tenses in a single class. So today we are going to have a discussion of only one tense there, and that tense is what, Anil sir?
Present tense.
Present tense. Exactly. We are talking about present tense in today's class. So present tense and their aspects. So before discussing about those tenses directly, we just want to request you to note down some of the examples from the tense that we are going to discuss about today.
So students, we are suggested to note down the examples. The first example is Kishore always sleeps at 9 o'clock at night. Let me repeat once. Kishore always sleeps at 9 o'clock at night. Next example. Our school starts at 10 in the morning. Our school starts at 10 in the morning. Third example, here you have the sun rises in the east. Note down the example properly. The sun rises in the east. Fourth example, we celebrate Dasai and Tihar. We celebrate Dasai and Tihar. Next example you have, they plant potatoes in their field. They plant potatoes in their field. Next example, here you have, wood floats in water. Wood floats in water. Last example, here you have, a barking dog seldom bites. A barking dog seldom bites. So please underline the verbs at first. After completion of copying the examples, the different examples, so you are suggested to underline even the main verbs or verbs, that is action verbs also there. Okay, Suman sir, let's have the discussion about these different examples.
Okay, Anil sir, let's have a discussion about it. You're just told to underline the verbs in all different examples you have been just given. You are given, I think, 7 or 8 in different sentences. So underline the verb there first. Okay, in the first, what is the main verb used there? Okay, right. That is the main verb used there is sleeps. Underline that verb. And in the second one, our school starts at 10 in the morning. What is the main verb there? Starts. Underline that. Next, the sun rises in the east. What is the main verb used in that sentence? Rises, right? So underline that also. In the next, we celebrate Dasai and Tihar. What is the main verb there? Celebrate. Underline that verb. Is like that. In the next, yes, you have just finished underlining the verbs used in that sentence. So students, what do you think? What are the verb forms used in these different examples? Are all those verb form it's same or not? Are those all the verb forms same or not? Or are they different? What do you think? That also you have to mind. And next thing, what you have to mind, that why is the verb form so? If the different verb in that given sentence are different, then why different forms of that verb is used? Okay, for the first one, what are the verbs form? What may be the verbs form used there? Right. In some sentences there has been used verb 1. Similarly, in some of the sentence there has been used verb 5. That two different forms of the verb are used there. It means in those all examples we are given the verbs. Some verbs are in verb 1 form. Likewise, some other verbs are in verb 5 form. These two different forms of verb are used there. So, why do you think the different forms of the verb are used there? Somewhere verb 5, somewhere verb 1. What may be the difference there? Why there is verb 1 and why is there verb 5? So all that is determined by the subject given to us. This is the most important thing. You must know that to form a clear and meaningful and correct sentence, you must have the knowledge of verb forms that is to be used in a particular sentence. So just we have discussed that there are two different forms of verb used. Some were verb 1 and some were verb 5. And go through that examples. Wherever the subjects are either he, she, it or singular nouns, mind it. Wherever the subjects given in those examples are either he or she or it or they are singular nouns, then we have to use verb 5. And similarly, if the given subject of our sentence is first person singular and plural, like I and we, they are first person also, and I is singular and we is plural, and second person pronouns like you, and third person plural pronouns like they, and given subject if that is plural nouns, then we have to use verb 1. So that is the difference there, why somewhere is verb 1 and why somewhere is verb 5. From this discussion, what we have known that in all those examples we are given either verb 1 or verb 5. Then what do you think is the tense used there under present? You're absolutely right. There, all the sentences are in which tense? Simple present tense.
We are discussing about present tense and also simple present tense. That is the part of the present tense.
Okay, under present, there are 4 different aspects, and today we are talking about only simple present tense. And from this discussion, you have known that in simple present tense, we have to use either verb 1 or verb 5. That determines according to the subjects given to us. We have already told if the subject is he, she, it and singular nouns, there we must use
verb 5.
verb 5, and
If in the sentence, if there is I, we, you, they and plural nouns, we can use verb 1 for the simple present tense. And it is easy to find out the verb 5 also. Verb 1 plus s or es adding, if added, we can easily identify that is the form of verb 5 of simple present tense.
okay, now again go through the examples that you have written just before. The first example, you have written that Kishore always sleeps at 9 o'clock at night. What does it describe? It seems like the habitual action, isn't it? Kishore always sleeps at 9 o'clock at night. It means every day he sleeps at 9 o'clock. That determines that is a sentence from
Habitual action.
habitual action.
Please note it down this form also in a bracket in a proper sentence base.
And next example that you are given just before is our school starts at 10 in the morning. So what do you think? Today your school starts at 10, tomorrow that will be at 11, next day that will be at 12. Does that happen so? Definitely not. Always, or I mean to say, every day our school starts at exactly at 10 in the morning. So that is the repetition of work. So such kind of sentence is called what? Routine works. What do we say? Such kind of sentence is called what? Routine work. And the next example that you are given, the sun rises in the east. So what do you think the sun rises in the east is? What kind of sentence is it? This one is 100% universal truth. Universal truth means that is accepted all over the world.
And it never be changed also. So next example, we celebrate Dasai. Wood floats in water. Next example, wood floats in water. That is the action verb. Floats is clearly mentioned there. Why it is so? Because it is scientific fact. If we practically do such things also, I think so it may definitely happen. That's why it is scientific fact. Next example, a barking dog seldom bites. A barking dog seldom bites. Bites. A barking dog, definitely it is the important English proverb. A barking dog seldom bites. Bites is the verb, main verb 5 added over there. So it is used and also identify as a English proverb.
Okay, simple present tense that you have just discussed, that tense is used for different activities. That is the use of that tense. Simple present tense is used to describe about habitual action, as in the example first. Simple present tense can be used to describe about routine work, that is in the example number 2. Simple present tense can be used for universal truth, like the sun rises in the east. Similarly, simple present tense can be used for scientific facts and English proverbs are saying. These are the uses of simple present tense. So students, you have none. Today you have none about what is simple present tense, where are they used, what are the different forms of the verb used in simple present tense, and what determines the different forms of the verb also you have none in today's discussion. Okay, simple present tense can be used with different time verbs also. We can use simple present tense with different time verbs. So those time verbs, what are those time verbs that we can use with simple present tense? You will be given by Anil sir. You go through them and just note down in your exercise book.
Yeah, here you have some time verbs. You are suggested to note down the time verbs accordingly. Always, comma, never, comma, seldom, comma, often, comma, usually, comma, frequently, comma, generally, comma, occasionally, comma, hardly, rarely, sometimes, comma, nowadays, comma, every day, comma, every week, comma, every month, comma, every year, etc. There are so many time adverbs. Here you have these adverbs, which is totally considered to be the simple present tense or present tense in a present form.
Okay, it means to say that you can have a use of these all time verbs with simple present tense, starting from always to every year. These are the time verbs that we can use with what? Simple present tense. So dear students, you have learned so many things about in today's session. You learned about what is the tense, how is the tense is determined in a particular sentence. So many things you have learned, and at last, so find out by yourself. Don't suppose us to be told, but find out by yourself that what is the structure of simple present tense. What you have discussed right now, and from that all discussion, what you have found the structure of simple present tense. So you have already got the idea. You have already known about it. What is the structure? So you have written also, I suppose, and go through that whether you are right or wrong, or whether you have written all correct or not. So structure of simple present tense is
Subject plus verb 1 or verb 5 plus object. Let me repeat once. In a simple present tense, the structure of this subject plus verb 1 or verb 5 plus object.
okay. You have known this structure by yourself. Isn't so? The structure of simple present tense is what? Subject, and there will be two different forms of the verb, either verb 1 or verb 5, and then after object. How, why verb 1, why verb 5, that we have already discussed also. So dear students, so with the help of this today's class discussion, I just want to request you to note down a task or assignment. Okay, make any 10 sentences using simple present tense. This is your work for today, and we have discussed a lot also how you are supposed to form a sentence, what kind of forms you can use, all the things we have just discussed. So with that discussion, let's form 10 different sentenences using
the verb 1 also, and you can make the 5 sentences by using the verb 5 also.
So students, I think it is the time to wrap up the class for today. So please, Anil sir.
Okay, we would like to give a special thanks to Miss Susma Shrestha for her invaluable technical support, and also thanks to entire unit of Suryodaya Education Office. Thank you for being with us. We expect necessary constructive feedback and supportive suggestions from all the stakeholders. We will be presented in next episode soon. Till then, have a good time and move on in your learning process without missing any of the radio classes.
Thank you and
namaste.
namaste.